Hello everyone. You are watching a segment of the Countdown program from December 18, 2023. Today is Monday. Watch all of our programs in full on Patreon. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. I'll talk about the themes of the postscript later, but now about the most important thing. The finish line to Putin's re-establishment is open in the cave. The 21st Congress of United Russia unanimously voted to nominate the dictator for another term. First, Medvedev climbed onto the podium, red as the sunset of an empire. And right away he offered to support Putin's nomination, after which he did not drink, but gave way to the bald self-nominated candidate. Putin said that he was not going to give up the sovereignty of the cave for sausage, probably throwing a stone in the garden of Yeltsin and Bush's legs. The nominee also did not mention how he famously stole money in St. Petersburg, profiting from the oil for food program. At the same time, the shadow of Erdogan's eggs and the Iranian Ayatollahs was already hanging over the auditorium. And before the start of the gathering, the embarrassed Minister of Agriculture Dmitry Petrushev swore that the superpower was about to feel better. Turkish and Iranian eggs would cover it with all the grace. The stench of Putin's victory hovered over the United States like an inevitability, and the day before the rat's main rival, the elderly toad Zyuganov, licked his opponent so deeply that there was no doubt left. The rat would be carried to the finish line in his arms. For comparison, while Trump promises to kick Biden's ass, Red Zoo demands to flog Putler's security service, which allowed the genius to go out into the cold without a hat. The rat was already blurred with pleasure. "Whip it. This will not rust with us. We can do this," said the bald leader, stroking Kokhnev's skull. In a word, even if a collapse occurs, Putin will still remain above the rubble, and not under it. On a recent Straight Line, he already presented a mastered model of lying, when everyone around him is to blame, but not himself. The sanctions noose is tightening more and more. The ruble is being held with all its strength, and egg suffering is the first call in a series of expected complications. Schemes to circumvent sanctions are stalling, and it is becoming increasingly difficult to keep this colossus afloat, simulating that the system doesn't care, it's well functioning and you can't drown it. The thought of the brilliant Putin, who managed to turn the departure of Western business from Russia into a goldmine for his gang, which was able to squeeze out Western firms and companies that had previously worked in the Russian Federation, accelerates with particular aspiration. Putin forced companies emerging from the cave to sell their assets for next to nothing. Sometimes he took over companies directly. The gangster paradise covered the accomplices of the bald man. Never since the collapse of the USSR has there been such a large-scale redistribution of wealth on the domestic market. Isolation and brutality were turned into a big glutton. Perhaps the last one, but no one thinks about it. The Kremlin has been captured forever, and if the bandits feel that they are screwed, they will start shooting back to the last. Become our patrons right now and look further in this program. A listening device was found in the new office of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Valery Zaluzny. True, it doesn't work. A little later, another bug was found in the office of the Assistant Commander-in-Chief. A financial blood clot has formed on the issue of support for Ukraine, which still cannot be broken through. Due to Orban's inability to negotiate, Hungary may now be completely deprived of voting rights. Today the 12th sanctions package against the Russian Federation should be approved. Watch in the program, postscript. It looks like Mishustin was brought out of disgrace. And he is again going to fly to China for a 2-day visit. The program has not been disclosed, but it is known that his personal meeting with Comrade Xi will take place. Meanwhile, Petrushev Jr. is solving the egg problem, receiving mocking comments from Peskov about the accelerating effect of Putin's direct line. Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin arrived in Tel Aviv, and an Israeli army reservist officer, who had previously survived an attack from a Palestinian, met with his would-be killer and turned to him with the words, "This is our land, and we will continue to live here." And that is all. Subscribe to our Patreon or donate using the details and watch all our programs in full. And I welcome everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. Hugs to everyone. See you on Thursday. Glory to Ukraine.